Hey everyone, Grant K for the Flame Learning channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to include lens flares within the CameraFX post-processing pipeline inside of Action. In other words, you can decide whether lens flares or light rays are affected by any Matchbox CameraFX you apply within Action. We'll take a look at both scenarios. If you would like to follow along, please click the link in the YouTube description to download the batch setup. Alternatively, if you're watching the podcast version of this video, then type the link displayed in your web browser. Once you've downloaded the files, load the setup through the Load Batch Setup menu. Now double-click on the Action node for its controls, and press Alt-2 for a dual screen split. Action schematic on the left, and result viewer on the right. In case you didn't see the CameraFX and lens flare, ensure you are looking at the live preview and not the 3D viewer. So in this scene, you have some geometry and surfaces laid out in 3D space. There are a couple camera effects including stingray depth of field attached to the camera, and you can see the result in the live preview. There is also a lens flare in the 3D scene, but notice it's not affected by the camera effects. Normally the lens flares as well as raised lighting effects are added to the end of the rendering pipeline by default. So it's camera effects first, followed by light effects last. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this in most cases, and it's totally usable. But let's say that you wanted the lens flare to be affected by the CameraFX post-processing tools. For those of you who like the technical bit in order to achieve this, the lens flare needs to be a render pass that can be fed into the CameraFX pipeline. So the first adjustment we need to make is in the Action render outputs. Switch over to the Output menu. In the render passes list, the default render pass is Comp, which is your beauty pass. In the submenu for Comp, you will see a button called Action Lens Flares and Rays. This is on by default, and essentially it means that lens flares and rays are added into the comp pass at the end of the Action render pipeline. When you disable the button, the lens flare disappears and is no longer part of the current composite. All other regular lighting tools function as expected. Now if you scroll down the list of render passes, you will find the lens flare pass. With the live preview viewer selected, you can select the lens flare pass to see it in the viewer. So Action is creating a separate render pass just for lens flares and rays effects. If the lens flare render pass was set as an active output for batch, you could composite the effect further downstream in the batch flow graph. But having the lens flare as a render pass in Action, it can also be fed into the Action CameraFX post-processing pipeline. Let's take a look at how you do this. Switch back to the Comp render pass. To include the lens flares back into the Action 3D scene as a camera effects, you need to add a specific Matchbox node. Select the camera in the Action schematic. Next, switch to the Action node bin and select the Matchbox tab. Here you will find a Matchbox node labeled Action Lens Flare. Drag out the Action Lens Flare matchbox and it will attach to the camera. Your lens flares should now reappear again in the 3D composite. However, they are now in the CameraFX rendering pipeline. So if you swipe down to the priority editor, you should see the list of camera effects in the 3D scene. If you don't see the list, ensure the camera is selected and they will appear. As a reminder, the order of the camera effects is from top to bottom. So if you move the lens flare matchbox under any of the other matchbox shaders, the lens flare will be affected by those camera effects. Go ahead and ensure that the Action lens flare matchbox is underneath the depth of field. Swipe back down to the menus and double-click on the light connected to the lens flare. If you move the light back in Z space, you will see how the lens flare is being blurred based on the depth of field. This is the most obvious example, but this will work for all camera effects as well as multiple combinations of camera effects. Now, if you wanted to go back to having the lens flare added after the camera effects pipeline, just delete the Matchbox Action Lens Flare off the camera, switch to the output menu, and re-enable the Action Lens Flare button in the sub-menu of the Comp Render Pass. So you can easily choose between either method to suit your creative needs. Be sure to check out the other videos covering the features, workflows, and updates to the Flame 2017 products. Comments, feedback, and suggestions are always welcome and appreciated. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the Flame Learning channel for future videos.